Find the derivative of y equals secant x over g of x, then evaluate y prime of 0, where g of 0 is negative 4 and g prime of 0 is negative 8. Y here is the quotient of a known function secant of x and an unknown function g of x. The derivative will involve the quotient rule, so y prime, or dy dx, will be the derivative of the numerator. The derivative of secant is secant tangent. Derivative of the numerator times the denominator left alone minus the numerator left alone times the derivative of the denominator, we'll call that g prime of x. And that entire thing is divided by the denominator squared. So there's our derivative. The next thing to do is evaluate that at 0. Y prime of 0 will be secant of 0, tangent of 0, g of 0, minus secant of 0, g prime of 0, and that entire thing divided by g of 0 squared. Now the secant of 0 is 1 over the cosine of 0. The cosine of 0 is a 1, so that's 1 over 1. The tangent of 0 is the sine of 0, that's a 0, divided by the cosine of 0, that's a 1, so 0 over 1. G of 0 and g prime of 0, they will both be found from the information over here. So g of 0 is a negative 4 minus the secant of 0, which is 1 over the cosine of 0, 1 over 1. And g prime of 0 found over there is a negative 8. All this is divided by g of 0, which is found over there to be a negative 4. And then all of that squared. So y prime of 0 equals to, the first set of fractions, we'll multiply the numerators. We can think of that negative 4 as a negative 4 over 1. Multiply the numerators, we end up with 0 over the denominator of 1. And then we have a 1 over 1, which is 1 times negative 8. So we have minus a negative 8. All of this divided by negative 4 squared. Negative 4 times negative 4, it will be a positive 16. Now 0 divided by any non-zero numbers is 0. Minus a negative 8 means plus 8 over 16. So we end up with 8 over 16. It's reducible by 8. And it will give us a 1 over 2.